What is up, guys? This is your boy Zilla, and welcome to today's episode as we'll be going down my predictions for the main event of UFC Fight Night, Whittaker versus Gastelum. But before I do that, please hit that subscribe button, also the notification bell so you get notification every time I make a video. And guys, let's get into this because we have a really good matchup, a defining matchup for the middleweight division. And who's going to get that rematch against Israel Adesanya, especially coming after a momentous loss, the first loss of Izzy's career? Who's going to be able to try and capitalize on that right after getting a win in this contest? And to try and figure out who's going to win this fight, we're going to go to the fire goals where I try to figure out each individual strategy against one another, taking advantage of their strengths against the other's weaknesses to figure out who has the better chance of winning this fight. And we're going to start off with the guy who came the closest to beating Israel Adesanya before Jan Blachowicz, and that is Kevin Gastelum. He was a very bad matchup for Izzy, but what does he look like in this fight against Robert Whittaker, such a sluggy, crafty veteran fighter? And to me, I think that Kevin Gastelum should stick very close and try to slug it out with Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker likes his array of lunges and different quick hitting strikes, but I think to try and eliminate that and make it a more simplified attack against Robert Whittaker is to close out the space, get in close, throw body hooks, and try to not give any space to Robert Whittaker so he doesn't have any space to lunge, therefore taking away the main momentum of his different attacks. And you're going to be able to get hit quicker inside, and plus when you're already that close to him, your most important back weapon comes into play, and that is your takedown. If he gets a little bit too reckless on the feet and too loose with the hands, take him down, disrupt his momentum, and then the next time he gets up, he's going to be thinking about that takedown. Plus you get control time and points, and you can beat him up on the ground for even more control in the judge's eyes. And I think doing all that while also keeping a balanced attack of leg kicks and protecting his head, I think when he puts that all together, I think it's going to build a strong foundation for his strategy against Robert Whittaker. But for Robert Whittaker, who needs to win this fight to try and redeem himself against Israel Adesanya and get that title back and prove that he is the real deal and he is on the level of an Israel Adesanya, what Robert Whittaker has to do in this fight is just the opposite. Stick out of the range of Kevin Gastelum, him with his array of angles and punches and lunges, and keep on staying in and out and never constantly being too close where Kevin Gastelum can put his strategy to work of trying to take Robert Whittaker down, disrupt his momentum. Because once Robert Whittaker builds that momentum in striking, he is very dangerous, and he's able to put amazing combinations together. So him doing those little lunges, getting hot, and not letting Kevin Gastelum try to dirty box or doing these other techniques to try and disrupt that flow, I think it's going to make it very hard for Kevin Gastelum to pull in the distance. And we already know that both of these guys are dogs that are willing to stick it out to the end, which is going to make a very interesting fight. But what in my prediction do I think is going to happen in this 5-round fighting? When we really look at each round, they're gonna feel each other for the first round. I always give it to the guy who comes out with the more natural hands, and I think Robert Whittaker is that guy who's gonna test the waters, whereas Kevin Gastelum is gonna be more defensive, and he's gonna be trying to test where Robert Whittaker's mind is at and try to judge his different distances, where he likes to lunge from in the first round. So I'm going to give it to the guy who's going to already start implementing his game plan, whereas the dude reading kind of his strategy, kind of trying to figure out counter punches and different stuff of the sort, he's going to probably take a backseat until probably mid-second round to start implementing his strategy. So in the second round, it's all dependent of if Robert Whittaker has gotten his striking going, which is going to make Kevin Gastelum overreact and start trying to take him down and put him up against the fence, which if he can successfully take him down, it changes the whole complexion of the fight. It becomes way more competitive. But if it stays standing for long periods of time, I can't see how Kevin Gastelum, with his shoddy accuracy, is going to be able to keep up with the volume, the angles, and the speed of Robert Whittaker, which is going to pose a huge problem for Kevin Gastelum. And that's why my prediction, I think that Robert Whittaker is going to take this fight by decision, constantly hitting Kevin Gastelum with so many, different array of punches, where Kevin Gastelum is not going to be able to return that type of offense. But he will have a very good defense, but it's going to be mainly the output. What is Kevin Gastelum going to output on the offensive end, which is going to make this fight, more competitive and more interesting? I just don't think he's going to have it in him. He's going to be only good enough just to defend himself. Whereas, Robert Whittaker is going to constantly be on the prowl and be the aggressor in the fight. But guys, this has been the best Zilla in UFC news. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notification every time I make a video. And I will see you guys next time.